Hey guys, so since I have this YouTube channel, I figure I might as well actually use it and upload videos about fandom discourse. So this video will be kind of an introduction to fandom discourse for people who are wondering what the heck is anti-shipping, what's pro-shipping, why do you care so much? So let's just get into it. If you've been involved in fandom at all, you know that there's always drama, especially when it comes to shipping. There's always been ship wars ever since the dawn of time, but lately there's been a shift in fandom and the drama is a bit different now. Before it was just my ship is better than your ship and here's why, but now it's spiraled into false accusations and buzzwords and it's just a mess, but I will try my best to explain. Lately in fandom, there are people who believe that the ships you like, or the characters you stan, or the tropes you enjoy indicate your real life morals and are basically a reflection on if you're a good person or not. I think the best way to explain this is just with an example, so I will use the ship where I first really started to take notice of this phenomenon, Yurio and Odabek from Yuri on Ice. Slight spoiler warning for Yuri on Ice, just so I can give some context for the ship. So if you got Yurio, a teenage skater from Russia, and Odabek, a teenage skater from Kazakhstan, who meet before a competition. They had previously met when they were a bit younger, but only Odabek remembers. And they become fast friends, which gives birth to the ship Odayuri. Odayuri is the second most popular ship in the Yuri on Ice fandom, only behind the main ship of Yuri and Victor, and it's generally well liked. Odayuri is essentially a ship between two teenage friends, and it seems like a pretty standard ship, right? Wrong. The ship is pedophilia and predatory because 15-year-old Yurio is a literal child and 18-year-old Odabek is a grown-ass man. What's wrong with you? How dare you think of shipping them, you pedo apologists? I wish I was joking, but there are people who really think like that. With Odayuri in particular, you may not see that as often now with the anime being on hiatus, but back when the fandom was a bit more active, anti-Odayuris were very common, and yes, they called themselves antis. They would tag their posts hating on the ship with the tag anti-Odayuri, and they were just kind of determined to make sure that us Odayuri shippers knew we were scum of the earth for shipping them. And this behavior sadly has only expanded to other ships and other fandoms ever since. So now to get into our definitions, first we have anti-ship or anti-shippers or antis. These are people who hate a ship so much that they believe shippers to be actual bad people, or they believe that shippers condone bad immoral acts in real life, and believe that as a result, shippers are deserving of harassment. They go by other names too. You may see the term fandom police used in the same vein as fashion police or grammar police, focusing on the verb form of the word that means to regulate or control people, since they seem to want to control what others do with fictional characters so much. Lately, I've personally gotten fond of the word fanties for fandom antis or fiction antis. Some people like to have fun with it and call them Frollos after the Disney villain, which is really amusing.
Beata Maria, you know I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. Then tell me, Maria, why I see her dancing there, why her smoldering eyes still scorch my soul. I feel her, I see her, the sun caught in her raven hair is blazing in me out of all control. Like fire, hellfire, this fire in my skin, this burning desire is turning me to stone.
On the flip side, there are pro-shippers, or people who are pro-fiction. The core belief of pro-shippers is that when it comes to the realm of fiction and fictional characters, people should be allowed to ship what they want, or draw what they want, or write what they want without fear of harassment. That is it. If you don't care what other people draw, or what other people ship, or what fanfic they like to read, and if you leave people alone and you're just a general proponent of don't like, don't read, congrats, you are a pro-shipper. You don't have to use that label if you don't want to, but that's basically what pro-shipping is. As you can see, pro-shipping came about as a result of fanties being so vocal of their hatred of ships and tropes. So that kind of covers the basic definitions of it, but now I'll elaborate a bit more on fanties' actual behavior. As I said before, fanties seem to think that your favorite ships or characters reflect your real life morals. So to antis, if you ship an adult and a minor character, you condone predatory relationships in real life. If you ship two characters who are related, you condone incest in real life. If you stand a villain character, you're an abuse apologist. The list goes on and on and on, and aunties seem to change their stance on a whim, honestly. Many seem to make exceptions for when it's a ship or character that they enjoy. Oftentimes, when it comes to ships, the anti-stance just seems like a thinly veiled excuse to villainize the ship that is the rival ship to their OTP. I may make more videos later going more in depth with these examples, but that's the gist of it. Aunties also harass people. It's not enough for them to say that your ship is literally pedophilia, which in my opinion is harassment on its own, because that is a very serious false accusation to make of someone over cartoons, but they will also dogpile shippers. Whether it is in the form of spamming hate in the replies of an artist's drawing, or literally threatening to dock someone, or arguing that someone deserved to be physically injured because they had a gross ship, aunties have done it. I have a whole Google Doc of this stuff that aunties have done in 2020 alone. And now I have to be serious for a moment and just give you a warning that this next point is a bit heavy. Aunties have even harassed people to the point of self-harming or attempting to take their life and ending up in the hospital. And I am 100% serious, and this is where aunties bother me. Fandom is supposed to be an enjoyable space for people. It's an escape from the stressors of real life. So imagine logging onto your fandom Twitter account and seeing dozens or hundreds of messages and tweets saying that you're an awful person for shipping something and you should kill yourself. That's obviously going to negatively impact people, and it could be detrimental to someone who is already struggling with their mental health. The fact that this has happened multiple times people have gotten so much harassment over a ship they've ended up in the hospital is really upsetting. Once is too much, and this has happened on a few different occasions already in 2020, and it's super distressing. And I just wish people would be kind to others. That is all I want. You don't have to like people's ships. You can think whatever you want in your head about their ship, but people need to remember that that shipper on the other side of the computer screen behind that Twitter account is a human being, and they deserve basic respect. If you don't like their ship or their fanfic, mute them, block them, keep scrolling. But there is no excuse to send someone hateful messages just because they want the wrong cartoon characters to kiss. And that is it for this Fandom Discourse 101 video. I hope it was informative and somewhat coherent. To be completely honest, I really struggled with writing a script for this because I just didn't even know where to begin. I was like, how do I begin to break this down and explain this? But I did my best. I hope it's somewhat coherent and informative. It's been a while since I've been in school, so I haven't written like an essay or a presentation in a long time, and I'm just really out of practice. And I have a newfound respect for YouTubers who make videos like this every week, because this is really hard. So yeah, I hope this was a good video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, I guess. I don't know how to end this. Bye.